Go.
Hey everybody, we are live with This Week in Geek for probably the most personal episode you'd say yet?
I would say for sure.
Yeah. So for people who don't know, Ren lives in a completely different country than I do. And we've talked since Thor Ragnarok? I think that's
Mm-hmm.
where our friendship started. So ever
Yep.
since then, we've been friends, and we finally got to meet back in February for my wedding. And this topic is the most surprising things we learned about each other. And there's a lot. And this is all good. This is all positive. And it's gonna be fun. And then of course we're also gonna take your guys' question as well. So always keep that in mind. If you're listening to this live, we always have that weekly chat where we can take your guys' live questions. And then if you want to support us with a super chat, then you are possible you'll get your question answered right away. So Ren, other than that, before we get into the weekly ranking part, I want to know how's your week been?
It's been good. I was off for most of it. I got a chance to see one of my favorite to live one of my favorite movie theater experiences in a while, alongside Dune 2. And now I'm excited that we finally get to do this again because we missed last week. We couldn't do it last week because unfortunately I was working.
Exactly. So it's all good. We're here this week. I will kick off the weekly ranking this week. I am going to include part of last week's films,
Mm-hmm.
because I did
I
watch
will do the
overall
same.
quite a bit. So this will only be movies, not talking about any of the TV shows I watched. But coming in last place is a film called Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I decided,
Oh, the first one.
the first one. The
Okay,
second
okay,
one
okay.
will be a part of this. We'll talk about it in a second. But um, so I saw the first one. I felt like I had to. I was full disclosure. The producers reached out and said, "Hey, if we pay for your ticket, will you go and review?" I said, "I will,
Oh,
but just
nice.
know you can't sway me.
Yeah,
You're already fine." Totally understanding. Very nice people. They bought my ticket,
that's
so I said,
awesome.
"Cool, I'll watch the first one." It's ass. It's one of the worst movies I've ever watched. And not even to the schlocky type of fun. I didn't
Mhm.
find any enjoyment watching this movie. I can see where some people could have possibly have fun with it, but wasn't my cup of tea. It's cheap, but it made money, and now they have a sequel, which comes up next in my ranking. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. Earlier this week premiered with 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I can see why. I can see if you're going into this for some of the kills, but I have a lot of issues with this. I will say it is 10 times better than the first one. That's still not saying a lot. So, it's still not great. The story is very melodramatic, and I think that's probably my biggest issue is that you have this fun, kooky tone. Like there's a part in this film where this cop says, "Let's bounce." And all of a sudden from behind him with a deep voice you hear Tigger say, "That's my
Oh,
line," and then stabs him a bunch of times, and it's glorious, it's awesome.
that sounds cool.
But then you don't see Tigger for 45 minutes after that. You don't see
Oh,
So Tigger's in the film for 2 scenes. Second scene's awesome. I will give credit. Tigger and
overall,
Ray,
he's just in two scenes.
2 scenes. That's it. That's it.
Oh, oh,
Uh,
there's the balloons. I'm not
um
celebrating Tigger only being in two scenes. Quite the
Yeah,
opposite.
and then Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh's in it more, Owl's in it more, Piglet's barely in it, but that was my biggest thing is that they go such a long time without showing the creatures killing anyone.
Mhm.
And they explore the lore, which I like the lore, I like the setup, but it's just not enough. It's just if you're going for a fun slasher killer thing, I just didn't think there was enough of it until the third act, which third act's awesome. But I will say the earlier kills, and I don't know if it was just my projector. I've not really heard this from anyone else. I could barely see any of the kills. I do not know
Uh,
if it was my projector.
mhm.
Because the theater I went to, I'll admit, sometimes does have issues with the projectors. But yeah, I was a little bit disappointed on that. Up next after that, I saw The Greatest Hits, the brand new film coming to Hulu, premiered at South by Southwest. David
Yeah.
Cornsweet's in this. It's okay. It's okay. I
Okay.
wasn't blown away by this one either. He's barely in it. The main 2 leads are good. If you like music, you'll probably get some more enjoyment out of this, which I do too. But just the usage, it felt very repetitive and it didn't gravitate me all too much. After that, I have, let's see. I hate to put this one so low, but I still really liked it. It's the new Roadhouse film. It's fun. It's fun. It definitely it definitely doesn't garner the original for me at all, which I just watched for the first time, but it's fun. I like Jake Gyllenhaal in the role, so I can't go anywhere else there. Oh wait, actually I fucked up. Flip-flop these, but next up is Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, which, as many issues as I had with it, it's still fun. It's still entertaining. It's just not one of those ones that I'm going to go back and rewatch. It's a good one-time watch, and that's about it. And I think a lot of my things with this is that I love the Afterlife so much, and I felt like they just didn't take away some of the best ideas from Afterlife and kind of went forward with that. So after that, though, I would rank Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV. This is a very dark documentary that a lot of people have been talking about the Nickelodeon stuff and all the stuff going on behind the scenes. The reason I have not done a review yet is because apparently there's another episode coming out next week, so maybe I'll do one if I have time, but keep that in mind. After that, I have Late Night with the Devil. Ren has been hyping this movie up since last year. I'm going to be honest, good. Ren. You're the only reason I took the screening for this. Okay. You're the only reason I took the screening. Awesome movie. Awesome. Yes. Love that it's literally framed like you're watching a late night show. Like they show the behind the scenes, they do this. And it's not the creepiest thing, but it's one of those movies that the second it comes out on Blu-ray, I will watch it. And every Halloween now, I have a new film to watch that time of year. So really dug that. After that, we have Ghostbusters Afterlife. I love this movie. I think it's so great. I didn't rewatch the first one, the original Ghostbusters this year, and it's a classic. It's a film I grew up with, but the family drama in Afterlife, I know didn't work for like some hardcore Ghostbusters fans, but for me it did, and it made the story even better. And McKenna Grace is a blessing in that movie. Then after this, we have Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. I do not give a fuck what anyone says. This movie is pure awesome. It's the second movie this year that the second I walked out of it, I said, I would go see that again. I would pay to go see that again. And there's not been a lot this year. And I've liked a lot, like Love's Light Bleeding. I liked a lot, but I walked out of it. I'm like, I don't really need to go see that one again. Godzilla X Kong, I walked out and I said, my wife needs to see this movie. It's so much fun. I liked it more than Godzilla versus Kong. What I have been craving is for these Titan movies to take the same approach as Planet of the Apes and say, we don't have to show humans. We can go ahead and have Kong walk around for 15 minutes without dialogue. Films used to do it all before silent. Look at WALL-E. WALL-E has no dialogue for the first 40 minutes. Godzilla X Kong showed that approach, and I will be honest with you. I mean, I know it's really hard to make these movies without doing human stuff. You have to have the humans in there at some way, shape, and form. But this was like the perfect approach for me. I have Godzilla -1 over here where it's more the dramatic stuff. You have the humans, and that's okay. You can have that over there. But I also like that I have that Saturday morning cartoon delight over here as well, where the human characters didn't get in the way. We had Ace Ventura in this doing dental work on Kong, and it was
Ace
glorious.
Ventura as if he was played by Harrison Ford in the 80s.
Yes, and Dan Stevens is great. The rest of the human characters I didn't really care for, but I was really taken back by when I'm watching Kong and I'm like, it's been 15 minutes. Are we okay, and you understand what he's doing. I loved how creative some of the action scenes were. His meetup with the baby is one of my favorite introductions. And I don't want to get into spoilers, but there's a part where Kong may use the baby as a weapon. I'm not going to say how he uses it, but I'm going to tell you right now, I jumped out of my seat and started clapping. Me and my friends started laughing our ass off watching this. So
that was one of the moments that garnered applause from my audience at the screen.
Yeah. I loved it. I can't believe how much I loved it. But and number one for this week is Oppenheimer. I rewatched it. My wife finally decided to watch it. Funny thing. So she's laying on the couch, just relaxing, and I'm sitting in my room playing video games, and I walk out to go check on her and see what she's doing. And she's watching Oppenheimer. She's like 5 minutes in. And I'm like, I've been trying to get you to watch this thing for like months. She goes, oh, I just decided. I'm like, okay, well now we're restarting it. And now I'm coming back to watch it. And it's glorious. I mean, for me, I think as the cream of the crop, it is probably Nolan's best movie yet. But it's like my second favorite of his. So yep, that's my favorite of the week though. Your turn.
All right. I'm gonna get us started. I only watched. I'm gonna count a few movies from last week too, because if I include those in total, I've seen 5 movies.
Okay.
The one at the very bottom is one I'm very late for, and after watching it, I don't really mind that I was late for it because it's Imaginary. It's one of the dullest, most boring movies I have seen in a while. It's not even that it's spectacularly bad. Like the production is good, the performances do what they can. The dialogue is terrible. The story is boring. It's just another Blumhouse movie. It's one of those movies that emphasizes why I don't have an appreciation for Blumhouse. I understand their creative standpoint. I think on principle
You said
that's
this is
smart.
Imaginary, right?
Imaginary, yes.
Okay.
The one with the
I couldn't
teddy
tell if
bear.
you were just talking about being imaginary because I forgot what the title of the film was called. and then it clicked for me. I was like, okay, I know what he's talking about now.
No, don't watch this one. Basically, keep it in your imagination and nothing else. There's a line, Zach, in the movie. Yeah, I did. This is
okay.
worse.
What was better? Seriously, I didn't watch
by
so.
by an ever so slightly margin. So, Night Swim is the least interesting idea, but it does the more interesting things with it because this movie is literally imaginary. There's a point in this film where a character, I generally don't even remember what character it was, but at one point a character says, in here, with imagination, everything is possible. The one fucking thing they create is a door to leave. That's it. That's how fucking boring this movie is.
Okay.
It literally says anything is possible and nothing comes to life.
Fair enough. Fair
enough. On top of that, I'm going to have Immaculate. I went to watch The Future Ex-Wife, starring in her own movie that she's been championing for years. And I thought it was solid. It was all right.
That's the reason
it takes
I haven't
a while.
it yet.
Yeah. It's a solid movie. I think you're gonna like it ever so slightly more than I have because Sydney Sweeney is great. There's a great atmosphere to the film. I like these sort of religious, but it's dark kind of horror movies. There's one point in the film where basically everything comes into context. You basically get enlightenment about how what is actually happening. It's either going to make or break the movie for most people. For me, it was one of the least interesting options that they had when it comes to giving answers. The final 5 minutes are just one shot, one continuous shot. And it's not that it's the craziest shit I've ever seen, but I'm surprised that a widely theatrically released film, even if it's a horror movie, even if it is rated R, not only has a scene like that, but dares to fucking end on a scene like that. If for nothing else, again, it is not, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. Because if you, as you're watching the movie, you're like, it has to end this way, and it ends that way. But it's just the fact that they pulled it off. That a studio didn't say, oh, you can't do that. I'm very happy they did. On top of that, I'm going to have Roadhouse. I have never seen the original. I didn't have time to try and find it like you did. But this is fun. This is a very fun movie that understands how silly it is. It's a movie about a guy working at a bar and beating people up. You don't really need much more than that, but structurally, it really works as a classic Western of the lone gunman that comes into the town, saves the town from the troubles they're in. I enjoyed it. Jake Gyllenhaal is great. The fight scenes are wonderful. The choreography is fantastic. As much as I admire Daniela Melchior for being in this movie, for continuing to build a career in Hollywood, her side plot with Jake Gyllenhaal does not need to be in this film. Or rather, it has no need to be in this film until the moment where it's like, yeah, we should actually do something about this, and it only actually matters to the plot on the third act. Conor McGregor, terrible actor. One of the worst. He's worse than Michael Jordan. He is worse than LeBron James. He is absolutely terrible. However, he has entertainment value in spades, like beyond anything that LeBron or Michael Jordan could dream of in the movie context. I'm not saying LeBron and Michael Jordan will have entertainment value when it comes to basketball. I'm not saying that at all. I hate Conor McGregor as a person too. I don't have anything against Michael Jordan or LeBron James. So yeah, he is terrible. The movie is not going to win any Oscars. It shouldn't. But sure? It's a highly.
I actually think it might. I actually think it might win.
Which ones? No. Costume design for all the shirts, Big Gyllenhaal.
No, because I can't. Because
he sports some fucking fly shirts in this film, man. I would sport those shirts myself.
Yeah.
All right. On top of that, and again, Immaculate Roadhouse and the movie I'm about to talk about are all like generally B minuses, 3 stars, sort of that. So next up is Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. This is my second favorite Ghostbusters movie. This is, to me, the second of only 2 good Ghostbusters.
So what's your ranking? Afterlife, Frozen Empire.
Afterlife, Frozen Empire. I guess the original 2016. They're about the same for me. I've never seen number 2.
Okay.
And this is a film riddled with way too many subplots. It is immensely overpacked. It's as if you were to overly spice a plate of food, and at one point you don't feel the flavor of the food. You just feel all the spices that are in there, and it's distracting. Certain spices taste well, and there are certain moments, certain characters, certain set pieces in this film that are great. But it's definitely a case where certain pieces are better than the whole because there are just way too many pieces. You don't need to fit them all into this one movie. Finn Wolfhard, Celeste O'Connor, I don't know what they're doing in this film. They clearly had no plans, no use for them. And there's a British comedian in this
podcast.
Film. Even podcast, yeah, but podcast was already a supporting character in the second one. But you're totally right. There's a British comedian in this film called James Acaster. He's the redheaded glass-wearing guy.
Yeah,
I wish like the function he serves in this film would have been given to Lucky, to Celeste O'Connor's character, and a lot of those issues would have been fixed. But I still think it's a good time. It's really funny. I don't remember like any particular joke falling flat.
I love the demon
or really not working.
I thought the demon was like one of the coolest.
Ghostbusters. The villain. Do you remember the last time we talked about Ghostbusters before we saw it? That I was afraid like this is just okay. It's Gozer again, but has a different name. But it's essentially the same kind of character.
Yeah,
that's not what happens here at all. Not at all. This is frightening. It has legit creepy moments to him. Really love the villain in this Ghostbusters movie.
Looked really good,
but of course, yeah, visual effects wise, I have no issues with this. Number 1, Godzilla Kong, The New Empire. I adore this film. I was applauding. I was cheering. It was basically as if I was watching a wrestling show live. They pull out literal wrestling moves on one another, these titans. Except instead of throwing chairs or throwing each other through tables, they're throwing each other at buildings and throwing each other at each other, like you said with the baby Kong.
Dude, that okay. You know when Kong picks up the rock and throws it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what scene I thought of? I thought of Malignant when they grab the chair and chucks it. And dude, it's so good. I wanted to ask you, what is your MonsterVerse ranking? Unless you plan on doing something, or
I put it on Letterboxd, and there's one of the questions is about that.
Okay.
So we'll answer later. But this is everything I wanted. Like you said, I'm more than happy to live in a world where we get the Godzilla -1 interpretation of these kinds of movies, and the Godzilla MonsterVerse, Godzilla Kong New Empire version of these movies. And both can coexist, and both can be good at doing their own thing. And I'll actually add to your argument relating that because there's already a Godzilla -1 type of movie within the Monsterverse. And it's still the best movie in the Monsterverse, and that is Kong Skull Island. This comes close by doing its own thing, but I'll leave that for when we answer the question about the ranking.
You're gonna hate my ranking.
Well, if there's an episode for me to hate a ranking you put out, it's this one.
Yep, exactly. So thank you guys so much. Let's scroll through and look at the weekly ranking. So it looks like we have Eric Thorpe reviews weekly ranking. He has number 13, The Bad Batch season 2 episode 5, which is actually the last one I just watched. Ren, this season is really good. It's like, you remember how Clone Wars like went all out? Dude, it's dark as fuck. Like they spent, and it's all character driven. Like every episode is character driven. A lot of it is Omega and Crosshair heavy. And I am very impressed. The only reason I'm catching up right now is because I was gonna wait till it was all done, because I saw Ventress came out, so I was like, okay, I gotta catch up.
Yeah, I haven't started the season, but I've already seen like on YouTube the clips being shared. I'm like, oh, she's in the show.
So
cool.
I'm excited. But at number 12, Iron Man 94, season 1, episodes 2 and 3. Okay, I'm gonna say it's the animated show. I don't remember watching that one. 11, Spider-Man 94, season 3, episodes 6 through 7. Number 10, Godzilla 1954. 9, Monarch Legacy of Monsters, season 1, episode 4 through 10. Number 8, Cape Fear 1962. Number 7, X-Men 94, season 5, episode 9 through 10. Number 6, Justice League Unlimited, season 1, episode 8 through 13. I wish I had all this time to watch all these classics, man. I don't know how you have all this fucking time. Number 5,
well, he's probably giving us like 2 weeks worth of weekly ranking.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Number 5, Slow Horses, season 1, episode 1, season 1, episode 6. Number 4, X-Men 97, season 1, episode.
Oh, I forgot to rank this.
3 was so good.
Sorry, X-Men 97 would be my number 1 above Godzilla.
I would have put this in my number 2. Number 3, Killers of the Flower Moon. Number 3, Body Problems. 3, Body Problems, season 1, episode 1 through 4. I'm gonna watch it once Netflix announces a renewal, because I refuse for this to get canceled. So, number 1, Severance, season 1, episode 4 through 9. Still have not
Severance
watched that
is
show.
so fucking
Still
good.
have not watched it. I tried one episode and I couldn't get into it. I'll go back to it eventually.
I agree. The first episode is like fine.
Dude,
okay,
I finished it. I was like,
second episode it takes a turn. Trust me, I was with you because I watched it like a year later after everyone was like, this is amazing, blah blah. I watched the first episode, I'm like, it's fine. And then second episode, trust me.
Okay, I'll go back and watch it, but then I gotta rewatch the first one again because I don't remember it.
That's true.
Sodium 285 weekly ranking. Number 5, Madam Web. Number 4, Marvel Rising Secret Warriors. Number 3, Punisher Dirty Laundry. Number 2, Spider-Man Dead No More. I'm guessing these are a lot of short films or like fan films, because I've not heard
I know Marvel Rising is like an animated show or a web show. I know Dirty Laundry is a short. I don't know what Spider-Man Dead No More is. Oh, he says at the end. They're 1 through 3 are all fan films.
Okay, and then number 1, Daredevil, the First Defender. Cool. Next up,
I never heard of those two.
Okay. Next up, we have G. Colby. Number 7, The Roadhouse 89, Hot Take. Number 6, Head of State with Chris Rock. Number 5, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, meh. Number 4, Roadhouse 2024, serviceable. Number 3, X-Men 97, episode 3. Number 2, Shogun, episode 6. And number 1, Poor Things. G. Colby, sometimes your opinions make me mad, but today the fact that you had Poor Things at number 1 makes me not mad. So thank you.
Yeah, this is a pretty fucking good ranking. I would put X-Men 97 number 1 though.
If you scroll down, Luis Feliciano. Weekly ranking, number 4, Anyone But You. Number 3, Alpha Dog. Number 2, Munich. And number 1, Argo. Love Argo.
I just watched Munich for the first time recently too.
I still have not seen it. I need to watch it. Tony Movie Chabby, District 9, Neil Blomkamp fan. Weekly ranking, number 4, Dune Part 2, better than the first one. Number 3, Quiet on Set, episodes 1. Number 2, Passion, Hidden Gem. Number 1, Lisa Smiles, one of my favorite feminist movies. Never heard of a lot of those, but I'm shocked that Dune's not number 1. So now you're on my shit list instead of G. Colby.
Well, there you go.
All right. So let's get into this, man. The most
Let's get
surprising
into
things we
this.
learned about each other. What we spent how many days together? Like 4?
4 days.
4 days,
4
yes.
days.
And it was
Yeah.
glorious. I wish we had more, if I'm being
Yes.
honest.
Same.
I
Same.
genuinely wish we would have had like a week with no stress or anything. But that's what like the next trip would be about, is just fucking
When you come
around and
over here,
chilling.
you mean?
Yes.
When
Trying to
you
get
come for the London Film Festival, 10 days.
I'm working on my my passport. So
Oh, nice.
it's a lot more. I don't know how. Is it hard for you guys to get a passport? Arizona, it's kind of difficult.
No, I mean, mine is about to expire, so I need to go back to renew it just because it'll be easier than doing it here. I can do it here if I want to, but it's just easier to go back. But I got it so long ago, I don't remember how difficult it is, but it's just a part of the process, I guess.
Okay.
It's just
Okay.
standard.
I was just curious. I just know like the last time, because mine expired because I got one when I was a kid, and then
Exactly.
I mean we never went anywhere, so then it fucking expired because didn't
Yeah.
do shit with it. No one was paying attention. So, anyways, I actually want you to kick off with this. Like, I don't know how you want to do this. I don't know if you want. Yeah, I don't know if you want to just go back and forth or like, because I know we were talking about like culture shocks and things like that. We're a little bit different. So,
I would love to talk culture shocks, but culture shocks is not really something like directly with you or me. It's just an overall thing. I guess the thing that surprised me the most, and this can feel very vague or generalized, so feel free to ask specifics about it. But and this is a very, very good thing. The thing that surprised me the most, just seeing how we hung out all through those 4 days and meeting your friends and meeting your family and being part of that wonderful ceremony for you and your wife and your now wife, which you still haven't in front of me called her my wife, which is a shame. But the
my
the
friend
biggest
George wanted me to do that like the second we got married.
We all wanted, Zach. We all did. It wasn't just
Do you know what his favorite? Did I ever tell you this? Do you know what his favorite movie of all time is?
I'm assuming now it's Borat.
It's fucking Borat. It's Borat.
And that is
but it's The Dictator, actually. The Dictator is like his favorite movie of all time.
I'm not the biggest fan of The Dictator.
Dude, I will say, like, when we watched it, we fucking died laughing. I've only seen it once.
No, I think it's very funny. I always laugh, but I like more the Bruno, the Borat, the Ali G. No, not Ali G, because Ali G is more like The Dictator. But the Bruno and the Borat, where it's like it's a mockumentary, and the rest of the people like don't know.
I do too. I usually like what he does more on those.
But it's a good movie. I do like The Dictator. Borat to me is a top 5 comedy of all time.
It's all right.
But the most surprising thing, no, it's all right. The most surprising thing was happily realizing that for you, as much as me, we were already closer friends than we realized. Like our shorthand, our banter with one another when we were just chatting, when the cameras are on, when we were doing the podcast at your place, even outside of it, all through the weekend. That was the most pleasant thing to me, like realizing, oh, maybe I was unaware just of how close we were, and that was just really cool.
Yeah, and I agree. I think that's a big thing as well, is because you never know how it's going to be when you meet someone for the first time that you've spoken with online. And I know there's countless ones with you, like from people who live in the UK, or of course your experiences as well, like getting to meet Tessa. And I'm pretty sure you met a couple other people as well in LA. And of course you got to meet Sean and Griffin and Sharonda and Cody, of course. But that's kind of like one of the big things that you're surprised about, is like, how's this going to work? Is it going to be awkward? And like, I'll tell everyone, like, instantly the second you got in the car, like we were all good. Like, it wasn't awkward or anything. Like, and
the only awkward part was the getting in the car, because it was so much traffic. We were like, go.
Yeah. It was very awkward. But he was wearing his "I'm Just Ken" hoodie, and it just made it so fucking easy for me to be like, get the fuck in the car, let's go.
Not gonna lie, part of my decision to take that hoodie on was like, this is gonna be easy, like for him to find me.
Yeah. Because what would have been funnier is if there's another guy your same height wearing that fucking hoodie. Because then I'm like, hey, I'm here. Yeah. So in terms of like most surprising things we learned, I mean, part of mine can go to that same thing, is that like how easily we clicked, but easily like how because I don't like opening up as much. And like obviously like we had some conversations like with Tyler and George and stuff that we were just sitting there that like, we wouldn't talk on the podcast. We wouldn't even talk like in general, but you know,
Even conversations we've had since then.
yeah, exactly. Which is I think has opened us up more since now we kind of know one another.
Yeah.
But you know, you and me, uh, just getting to like hang out and just getting to again work off one another and see how it is. And I think for me, one of the most surprising things is I loved seeing how open you got with my friends. But
Oh yeah.
genuinely, I didn't know how that was gonna work. I was always nervous. Like I'm telling my friends, I'm like, you know, be nice to my two friends coming. Like I want you, you know, because you know sometimes they can be fucking dicks, and that's how sometimes people are. They're like, I don't know who the fuck this guy is. Like, but like instantly, like you guys got along. Like you fucking exchanged like information to like if he ever goes to the
Yep.
UK and it was fun, like, doing that type of stuff, but the other thing that kinda leads to this and, like, one of the most surprising things, culture shock-wise, if I wanna talk about this, is when I took you to
Yeah.
Walmart for the first time, and you're, like, looking at stuff, and you're like, "We don't have this, we don't have that," and, like,
Yeah.
people who are watching from the United States, like, they don't have, like, other Oreo flavors. Like, they just
We
have
have
normal
other
shit.
Oreo flavors. We just don't have as many.
Yeah, like, I took you to the aisle, and there's, like, fucking 35 of them. Are you guys getting
Yeah.
the churro flavored one coming out soon?
Not that I know.
Yeah, they just announced it out here. So,
See?
like, that's just like a wild thing. Or like you see the chip aisle, and it's just like you see Lay's, and there's like 40 fucking
Yeah.
flavors of Lay's, and then like Fritos and Doritos and all the stuff like that. And then like even the hot Cheetos. You said that you
Yeah.
guys, yeah, like
Apparently now we do. It's starting to get like if I go to
ah,
the big supermarkets, they don't have it, but I actually have a small like mini markets now, like a brand thing
yeah.
here, like right down from my street. They have flaming hot
Do
Cheetos.
you want to know something? They are actually
Hmm.
trying to ban hot Cheetos in California. Because of
No.
the one of the ingredients is in it, apparently leads to cancer, like in studies. So they're
Which
like, it's red 40.
so does Red Bull. You don't ban Red Bull. Red Bull is
Well,
literally
it wouldn't just be
cancerous.
hot Cheetos. It would basically be anything with that ingredient would get banned
Yeah,
because
yeah,
that's
yeah,
like
yeah.
one of the main things. So, but yeah,
Interesting.
you go next, man. What else do you learn?
Um, I wanna emphasize on your point about how well I got to hang with your friends, how comfortable it. Every single one of them made it easy for me.
Yeah.
So I can't even keep that merit. Like everyone else,
Hmm.
everyone else deserves the shout out for that one. Another big thing that I noticed is it was a happy coincidence that the moment I get to meet you is going for your wedding, and the day after your wedding is the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I got to experience firsthand, just be present, be a part of, uh, I
A
guess, a
non-existence thing.
celebration, a tradition that you
Yeah.
guys have, and just be a part of an annual thing for you all. That's supernatural, and that was just really cool to hang out with your family, to play all the arcades, play video games while we were
Yeah.
killing time the day of the wedding. Just that whole camaraderie with your friends, and a whole day to day, I guess it's the most apropos way to put it, with your family, just getting to know everyone on that down to earth level. That was immensely gratifying, just to be there, be a part of that, be
Yeah.
like in the midst of that.
Yeah, and so adding into this, one of the most surprising things as well, kind of goes back to the last thing I talked about, but a little bit more in detail is you're just the exact same fucking person. Like you're not different. You're not anything to that. Like Ren is the exact person he displays in his reviews, the podcast, whether you just talk to him privately or publicly. Like he is the exact same person, and that's a huge surprise. I've met many people in this industry where I'm like, you are 100% fucking different than how you are publicly or privately. And that's always like not a bad thing either.
Yeah,
But
not
like Ren is
necessarily
just
a bad thing.
very outgoing, very outspoken, and I love it. And again, like the day he left, I was like, man, you know I'm leaving the next day too, but like
Yeah.
it is sad, like because it was fun. Even
Funny
if
enough,
like
we were both leaving for the same place, kind of.
basically. Um, which is like a funny coincidence as well.
Yeah.
Which, you know, it's wild. I know we didn't like plan on meeting, like we tried and just like nothing ever
Yeah.
worked.
Just didn't
But
happen.
I want you to know, and I haven't.
Mm.
I don't know if I should do this publicly. They'll never watch it. They'll never watch it. So
Okay.
we had a wedding crash. I don't. Did we talk to you about this? I don't know if we
No.
talked about it. So we invited someone, and he's dating someone. We know the girl, but like we didn't have enough people.
Oh, I
And
think
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
heard
yeah.
this. Mhm.
Did I tell you that they went to fucking Disneyland too? The
No, I
same
did
days
not
we
know
were,
that part.
dude. So he messages me, and I
Oh,
see it,
no.
but I'm like, I'm on my honeymoon. Like, I'm not like, if I'm
Yeah.
gonna plan to meet up with anyone, it's gonna be Ren. But it's just, I shit you not. 20 minutes later, we walked right into both of them. The busiest time, really, really.
Yeah.
It was just wild. So that's an off tangent, but another thing I want to say that I learned about you is your morning routine. I really
Oh.
dig it. Like specifically with how like what would you say for your breakfast? I was trying to like what's the correct word? Like your it's not meal prep because it's not technically a meal prep. It's like uh I don't know. You just eat the
Uh,
same thing every morning. The hard
yeah.
boiled eggs, the peanut butter. Like I dug that. Now that's kind of been my fucking routine, to be honest with you. Like I've been craving that. So like once a week, I make a ton of fucking hard boiled eggs and all the sorts of things like that. But I love your routine and I love how you're always just ready to go for the day. And like
Mhm.
I know you were out here and like you don't really have a choice. Like you had to go do stuff with me if I had to go do stuff. But like
I
you were
wanted
always
to, man.
you're always open and ready to go to like any store. And another culture shock thing was like taking you to like all those like home stores like Hobby Lobby and like at
Yeah,
home,
yeah.
like how big and wide they are. And then hearing you tell me like, yeah, we don't really like have something like
Now,
this.
like
Like,
we have IKEA. IKEA is the one thing that is comparable, and we have stores like that. They're usually like inside shopping malls. That's if you ever come here, that's one thing you will get culture shock from. Where
okay.
all those stores you took me to, we have those kinds of stores here. They're inside the shopping malls.
See, and that's wild because for us, they're not at the malls. Like there's
Exactly.
some, but they're so
Mhm.
tiny.
Yeah, exactly. They're
Um,
the smallest ones.
yeah.
Mhm.
Or like malls just have like a lot of like, especially in the United States. I don't know if like the UK is like this or like even Portugal, but like a lot of malls out here. Because I know you went to one in California, right? I think while
Mhm.
you were waiting for a
I
test.
went to the Grove. I went to the
Okay.
Glendale Galleria, and that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Did you notice how like I don't know how it is out there, but like Arizona's had a lot of malls fail. Like we literally just have malls
Ah,
standing in certain places. Like there's nothing there anymore. Like they
I
either are planned to be
no,
demolished or there's just nothing going on in those buildings anymore.
not
Nothing.
that I
Okay.
know. Not that I know.
It's a dying thing
And
out here. It's a dying
and
thing.
when you come here, I'm gonna take you to a mall over here that even locals say is uselessly enormous.
Okay.
So like you have the tube, the subway here connecting. There's a mall so big. If you enter on one side, the fastest way to get in is leave on one tube station. If you want to get in on the other side, you get off on another different tube station.
Wow. Wow.
That's how fucking big it is.
That's huge. Okay.
Yeah,
That I for
it's
us
stupid.
out here, there's one mall and it's like 2 stories. But the way it's
Mhm.
made is like it's like a giant T. So it's like one long building
Oh,
and
okay.
then like one
Mhm.
straight building down. I don't like going to that one because it's like the bougie stuff, the Gucci, the Prada, all that stuff that you don't really like. I'm not gonna buy that stuff around. So
Yeah.
but what other culture shocks do you have, man? Or what other things did you learn?
Oh, another big culture. This again, this is very general, but another big culture shock was just how big everything is. Like the road right next to the venue of the wedding,
Yeah,
that is wider. Like your regular roads
yeah.
are wider than most of our highways.
Well, so I was actually gonna ask you this. I don't think I ever got to ask you while you were out here. So,
Mhm.
I drive everywhere.
Yeah.
For you, like obviously you don't drive out there. So
No.
how is it like what do you take the subway everywhere? Do you walk everywhere? Like what is your
Um,
way?
It's literally that. It's either tube or walking. Because if you look at the map of the subway in London, everything is so well connected. You can get anywhere from anywhere. It usually
Okay.
takes you 20 minutes to get anywhere, whether it's near or far. That's how interconnected the tube is. I actually, this week, I've been making some trips going to a part of London that I don't usually go to. And again, super fast. It's just as if I was going to the same typical places I usually do. And then, like, let's say I have a screening, and that's usually Leicester Square where all the premieres happened. You've seen pictures, you've seen photos of it online. And then it tells me to go to Oxford Street, which is a big fancy place in London. That's like 10, maybe 15 minutes away walking. So I'll just walk there and I'll save money from the tube.
Okay. That makes sense. I always walk everywhere I go if I can. Well, not out here. It's fucking impossible. But like, I'm sure you saw in California how much different it was for like in terms of traffic and getting somewhere.
Oh yeah.
It's like
I witnessed that famous California traffic for
it's
sure.
awful. It's starting to get bad out here. Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's starting to get as bad out here. Like when I get off work, depending on the day, a 15-minute drive can take me almost an hour for no fucking reason. No reason at all. No reason. Like it's awful.
That is I should also mention I do take the bus quite a few times.
Okay.
Like if I go to the gym, the bus is faster. Going to work, the bus is my only route, and it's 20 minutes away. So yeah, I use the bus quite often.
So as for most surprising, I also want to ask you, in terms of like getting to meet me, is there anything that like stuck out to you where you were like, huh, he does that, or that's his my setup, like when we made a YouTube video, like
your setup is so intricate. If you want to talk about just how I am the same person, you are so on point with the pre-production, let's put it that way, of the videos. Here it is, everything ready. This is like the sample thumbnail. Then we'll take a picture and we'll just replace it on top. Like each step of your pre-production, like to get the video ready, to get it out as fast as I can.
That's trailer reactions, man.
Yeah, that's trailer reactions. That's something I will never be able to get down. I was happy to do it with you. I love to do trailer reactions.
It's stressful,
I didn't have
dude.
to edit it.
They're stressful.
I didn't have to edit it, so that was just
how was
enjoyment
Tessa's?
for me.
Because you did 2 with Tessa, right?
I did 2 with Tessa's.
Is it interesting to see someone else's perspective, like someone else's like editing style for trailer reactions? Because I'm always curious on how other people do theirs.
It is, because it's different than yours, but also Tessa was in a position where she didn't have her studio ready. Yeah. So we were just in the dining room, I guess, and we had to record it with the audio from the computer and all that. And I know Tessa has an incredible setup, and that was just the way that you work to get it out as fast as you can under the circumstances where she didn't have the proper studio or anything like that. That was her preparation, and it was super fast.
That's awesome. That's super awesome. Fast. Yeah, it was fun doing the Deadpool video, because I haven't I genuinely, like, filming an actual video in person. I think I haven't done that. Like off the top of my head, not including over StreamYard or actually in person. I filmed an Us review with Griffin when we went to South by. That was like 5 years ago at this point. And I filmed a trailer reaction for Fast 8 with my friend Curtis, who you met, the cowboy.
Yeah.
And that's about it. Like in terms of it. So it's been forever since I've actually made a video. And because when Cody came out for the first time, we reviewed Hereditary and Ocean's 8. So those two as well.
But that was before, even that was before us.
Yeah,
like you were talking about.
That is true. So it's just kind of wild to me, like the experience and getting to film something and like having to actually make room, because this room is just like one long hall.
I will say that from here, your room looks wider than it actually is.
It is not. But you know what's funny? I did get a new desk. And it makes this room so much bigger. Yeah, dude, it makes this room look so much bigger. It doesn't cut off anything now. I love this new desk. like this is like fucking everything. But yeah, dude, like that for me was fun and impressive. And even getting to like when we sat up for the podcast and live, like I told you, like I wish we could do that every single week in live in person, because that for me was everything. Like if Ren told me I'm gonna move to Arizona, I would get him on every fucking press screening. I would I that would be my devil's advocate. I'd be like, you're gonna move out here and this is what you're gonna do. I'll get you.
Oh, I need to talk about. There's one other thing I need to talk about.
Yeah.
Because it's the obvious thing. There was a place you took me, because it's one of those things like I'm taking my friend who's not from America. I need to take him here. And Zach took me to this shop where it sold like camping gear and all that.
No,
obviously,
I thought you were talking about the other one.
Tell me in a private chat.
Okay.
Tell me in a
no,
private
I
chat.
don't care. I'll say it publicly. I don't give a
fuck. Okay.
But go for it.
Save it for after this one. Zach took me to a place that sells guns, so I got to hold a gun in my what was it? A shotgun?
It was the shotgun from John Wick 2 when he takes it off.
Oh, you didn't tell me that at the time.
Yeah, it's the one from the catacombs when he's like boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's the one.
So I picked one. I didn't realize it was John Wick. Otherwise, I would have been less stressed. It's one of those things.
It is stressful because it is weird because like there's no ammo in it. Obviously, it's
obviously, hopefully not. It is stressful, but also within the context, I've never picked up a real gun before.
Yeah,
like and there's guns here. There's guns in Portugal. Like policemen have it, criminals have it. But immediately, as soon as he passes it to me, there's a mix of holy fucking shit, I have a gun in my hands, and this is kind of cool. But I also at the same time didn't want to do the gesture, like trying it out. So it was stressful. But it's nice that now I can say, like, I've picked up one, even if for only seconds. One of my best friends took me there. Like, I was visiting America for the first time. It's one of those things you have to, just out of sheer curiosity.
Yeah. Yeah. And you did it. So the other store I took him to, for people in America will know, it's called Spencer's. We walked straight to the back of the store, pointed one thing out, and we walked right back out.
It was such a funny name. I can't believe I'm not remembering what it was. But there I remember we saw like a Groot themed one.
Yeah.
So that was funny.
It was funny because we had to go for Cody's suit. Cody needed to get a tailor on the suit. Did I get or did I go the day before? I can't remember. Did I try on was I trying on a suit? No. I had to.
No, you went the same day. You went the same day.
Yeah, before you guys got there. Yeah. So I did put in the chat. This is the one time I'll take chat questions. Do you guys have any questions about our trip? Any things you want to know if we did find out about one another? It can be as personal, I guess, to a certain extent. We can take some of those while we get into the live questions, if that's okay with you, Ren, unless there's anything else I want to go over. I know I don't want to ruin any time, and because I love getting what is it? Not public, but more intimate. If that makes sense. So,
I'll say this. Let's get started on the community tab questions, and you keep an eye out for the chat. If anything comes out that you think is interesting, that pops, we'll go for it.
Sounds good.
All right. So first question. Here he goes, Zach. It's now or never. Tyler Van, how would you rank the MonsterVerse movies? For me, it's very easy. My ranking is on Letterboxd. You can go check it out. But because I'm not going to do a video, I'm not super protective of it. Number 1, Kong Skull Island. Easy. Number 2, Godzilla Kong New Empire. Number 3, Godzilla vs. Kong. Number 4, Godzilla. And number 5, because it's shit, Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Okay, so this is going to be really fucking funny. This is going to be really fucking funny.
It's the complete opposite.
It literally... I shit you not, it's like almost a flip. So
if you have Kong Skull Island in last place, I swear to God,
I'm not gonna get into my reasonings because I do have a ranking that's going up right after this podcast. But I'll just read it and then you can go watch it. My number 5, Kong Skull Island, which let me just say, literally all of these are a 4 out of 5. Every single one of these movies is a 4 out of 5. This whole list.
At
could
least we
swap up
agree
and
on the
change.
grid for Kong
Yeah.
Skull Island.
Yeah, like I really like Kong Skull Island. I really like the MonsterVerse. I just think it's very consistent on what I want. But what I've noticed is that every MonsterVerse film, the director gets to take and do something a little bit different. So it always depends. It literally just depends on like what you want from it. My number 4 is Godzilla. My number 3 is Godzilla versus Kong. My number 2 is Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. My number 1 is Godzilla King of Monsters. I love this movie. It's my second favorite Godzilla film.
I had no idea.
I just love it. I will say on rewatches, the film, the human element is really bad in it, but I fucking love the action in it. I love Bear McCreary's score in it. I love the way that the creatures look. I'm a massive fan of Ghidorah though, and the way they brought Ghidorah to life really impressed me. So there's a lot of nostalgia that kind of goes in the King of the Monster being my number 1. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like before I had made this ranking, my ranking prior to this, it was Godzilla versus Kong, my number 1. My number 2 was Kong Skull Island. Number 3 was Godzilla King of the Monsters. Number 4 was Godzilla. So this ranking switches up a bunch.
Flipped around a lot.
Yeah, it really depends. I did go back and rewatch. Kong Skull Island's the one that like I enjoy. It's just the one that I have rewatched the least amount of times. And that's kind of where I decided on like, if I were to rewatch these all right now, which order would I want to do it? Part of me wanted to put The New Empire at number 1. I'm not going to lie. I'm almost not going to lie. Like that movie was too much fun. So, but yeah. We do have a couple super chats, but a couple things. So Manuel, our mutual friend, well, not a question about your trip, but about when is Zach coming to Portugal and what's the first shop you'll take him to? So not sure on when I will come, but what is the first shop you would take me to out there?
Oh, I'm taking you to get a francesinha, which is our typical dish, and I know exactly where I'm taking you.
Okay, just like how I went and bought you the
burrito.
Yeah.
I got the whole thing, the beef, the chicken, the shrimp, all inside. Oh, that was so fucking good.
So fucking good. I just had that the other day.
Oh man.
Like when I want to feel sick the next day, but I want to eat something good that time, it's that.
And I'll say this, like I'm taking you to a francesinha, but I'm also like taking you around to all these kinds of places just for you to see, number 1, how small of a country it is compared to America, like to Arizona even, and how fast like it is to get everywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
so the movies make it look bigger because Fast X made it look huge.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it was in the highway for sure. It helped. It certainly helped.
They really did film there, right, for Fast X?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't there, but I remember that like made the news, like Furious, they're coming to film here.
The only movies that have ever been filmed out here, at least off the top of my head, Tombstone, obviously, because Tombstone is in Arizona.
Yeah.
Which if we would have had time, I would have loved to have taken you there. Because it's like they literally still have the whole town. The whole town.
Do they?
They still do a bunch of stuff. Yeah, they have the cemetery.
Oh, that's cool.
They have getting into paranormal stuff. They have the oldest building, I think, in the United States is still there. And it's a bar that burnt down partially and then they rebuilt. Dude, it is the most eerie thing walking into there. Like you just feel like there's something watching you.
How old is it?
It's old. It's fucking old. It's like I'd have to look it up, but my friend has a picture of him taking a selfie in a mirror, and you can clearly see there's like something behind him. Like just an outline. Very creepy, very gets under there. I also see Sodium 285 ask something. Were both of you confident that the two of you are going to have a great time since both of you are honest and great people? That is a great question.
Thank you.
Was I confident? Yeah, I knew we were going to get along and have a great time.
Yeah.
But did I know that we would leave like on better, like as better friends even after? You don't know that. You never know. You never. It's kind of like a roommate situation. Like, Ren stayed with me for 4 days straight. It's an intimate experience because it's like from the second I go to bed, from the second I wake up, I'm gonna see this man. And you don't know I don't know how many ticks. I don't know how he is. I'll tell you right now, he's very clean. He's very all this. Like I had no fucking issues. So we're all good. And if Cody's watching, the same thing goes for Cody. I've already stayed with Cody, so I didn't have any
filthy person, that Cody.
But were both of us confident? I was at least. But you just never know like how it's gonna go afterwards. Like, I knew we were probably
Yeah.
gonna have a good time, but I don't know. Is it gonna be awkward at all? Are we gonna run out of things to talk about because it's 4 fucking days together? Is he gonna
We
get
never
along with my
did.
friends, my family? Yeah, exactly. Like, we kept finding things to do. In fact, there could
Yeah.
have been more to do, genuinely. So,
It always feels like that. Like there's more we could have said. There's more we could have done. All of that.
yeah,
I wasn't nervous because we had never met in person, but we had known each other. We had conversations like online, messaging each other like for 7 years. Like that is not a small amount of time by any measure. At the same time, it's not like we were about to meet for the first time, and the occasion was we were taking this incredible road trip where it was just going to be the two of us.
yeah,
If that was the case, I might have been nervous because it's just going to be me and this person who I've never met, who I really like, but I've never met like in person for like 4 days or whatever. But I'm traveling there. I know like the plan because you sent me all the plan in advance. We're getting busy. We have all this stuff to do, all this fun stuff to hang out doing together. We're still doing the podcast, and he's getting married. So even if Zach was to be an asshole, he's not going to have time during that weekend to be an asshole specifically to me. So I was all good.
So, but no, and I will say this, Ren is like the most helpful person. Like at one point, like him and Cody were just chilling on the couch, and
Oh yeah,
I was like loading the car full of shit, and they're like, "Do you need help?" I was like, "No, you guys chill. Like I'm all good." Like, and then I think I had you guys come and help with like the alcohol moving, but yeah, it's interesting to that degree. So, back to the questions.
back to
Colby
the
asked,
questions.
music question for you. Since Sem 41's final album, Heaven and Hell, released yesterday, have you heard it yet? And what are your favorite songs from the band?
I didn't know it released yesterday. So please ask me again next week because I know what I'm listening after this on my way to work and back from work.
There you go.
Thank you. I genuinely had no idea. So sorry I cannot answer this question, but I didn't know they released the album already. All right. Next up. GKP, thoughts on behind the scenes video of Florence Pugh on the Thunderbolts and possible title change. I don't know about the title change. Like they changed the logo, but the
logo is always different on set. Like even
exactly.
Ant-Man and Quantumania. So I don't know.
Every single one of these movies, the maybe not the Avengers, I guess. I mean they changed colors, but like that's specific A for Avengers with the circle. That's always there. So I don't see a title change happening. I mean, are you going to call it Thunderbolts Invasion of the Search for Adamantium or something?
You know, the only thing I saw them changing, but it would be like it's completely different. I thought for a second, oh, they're going to change it to Dark Avengers. Just has Avengers on the title. Dark. I don't like that. I do not like that. Because it is completely separate. That is a completely separate thing. But I don't count it out as the realm of possibility because of that.
You are right.
Avengers.
Yeah.
Because what's going to get people in the seats more? Thunderbolts or Avengers? So.
You are right. You are right.
Let me say this as well, and I would fucking hate this idea. I wouldn't. Let me say, I'm looking from a marketing point of view of a business person. I wouldn't be shook if they just called it Avengers. Like this is the new intermediate Avengers team. If no one else is going to make the team, Val will make the team, and then something bad happens at the end. Just like
that, I really like it. In the context of it being a movie in the MCU, that I really don't like. I would prefer Dark Avengers.
Same.
I wouldn't mind if they call, and this is not what this team is in the comics at all. But as a reference to something in the comics, I would not mind if they call this movie The Secret Avengers.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't mind that either, which they could. They could, but I also will tell you this: if they do keep it as Thunderbolts, the trailer will have an Avengers joke. It'll probably be Red Guardian being like, the Avengers,
the Dark Avengers,
the knockoff Avengers. Like, you know, that joke will be made in there because then people are also going to make the same joke So if they automatically just hit it, people be like, "Oh, so this is like the Avengers, but like the B team of them." Which like
The best joke he can genuinely say is, "Oh, what are we? Some kind of Suicide Squad?"
I want it. G. Colby asks, thoughts on the rumor of Justin Lin in talks of replacing John Watts as the director of Spider-Man 4. At first, I wasn't sold on this. Then I thought about it more. And I thought of Star Trek Beyond. That was the first film that went to my head. Not Fast and Furious, because Fast and Furious, that also comes off the script. And if you're just taking what's off the script for face value, Justin Lin creates a lot of awesome action sequences. That's even if you count Fast 9. Fast 9 has a lot of fun action sequences. Even if it goes way too overboard, they're fun. I think Justin Lin would be a good director. I think he'd be a good director. I think he can tell a story, but in terms of this, I'm looking for something more visual wise. I want to see Spider-Man swinging around kicking ass. Can Justin Lin do that? Yeah, he swung a fucking car from one island to another. So if he can show that in a cool way, sure, he can do the same thing with Spider-Man. Ren?
I don't mind it, but at the same time, and I don't know how reliable the rumor is. Generally, I don't mind it. You are very right in bringing up Star Trek Beyond. He has done really good Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah.
He has done not as good Fast and Furious movies. But at the same time, when I saw this rumor, I saw two names: Justin Lin and Drew Goddard. The moment you tell me a Drew Goddard is a possibility, there's no fucking way Justin Lin excites me.
Yeah.
It's not even comparable, honestly. So yeah, I don't mind it. If he ends up being here because of Star Trek Beyond, I'll be like, there's a good chance this will be at least good, solid, an Ant-Man, First Avenger sort of tier movie. So yeah, I'm into it, but we can do better. We can do worse. We can do much worse.
Yeah.
If it's Justin Lin and the writers of Madam Web and Morbius, that is absolutely terrible. If it's Drew Goddard and the writers of Madam Web and Morbius, that is absolutely terrible.
I mean, Kevin Feige would never even allow those writers.
I know.
To touch
I know.
shit.
I'm exaggerating to make a point. That's all.
I know.
All right. G. Colby, what are some of your favorite movies by a problematic filmmaker?
I have this off the top. I can just say one right off the top. I really like Silver Linings Playbook by David O. Russell.
Yeah, so. You took the words right out of my mouth. That's the one. The Fighter is a really good movie.
I like The Fighter. I actually don't mind American Hustle. I like
American Hustle is good. It's not as good as it should have been. But,
I like Three Kings, his earlier film with George Clooney, where George Clooney punched him. Or was it opposite? Yeah. Either way, someone got punched.
No, I think he wanted to punch him.
Okay.
I don't think punches were actually thrown. But
I mean, genuinely. I mean, then I never finished Joy. Amsterdam
Joy
was better than I thought it was going to be because of all the bad buzz, but it's not great.
I'll give you another. I don't know how hot of a take this is like for our crowd. I know it would be a nuclear take on the internet, and we got a super chat, so I'll get to that in a second. My favorite Woody Allen movie is Midnight in Paris. And that is also his only good movie, because Woody Allen has never been a good director or writer. I'm sorry, but that's the truth.
I actually agree with you.
Thank you.
I haven't seen all of his movies. I don't watch all of them. But that is his best one. That's the only one that I'd be like, you know what? I'd rewatch that again. That again.
I think that movie's really good. I think
another problematic one. I love X-Men 2. Days of Future Past. So
Days of Future Past.
I don't even want to say the guy's fucking name because I don't like him, but
he's a singer. Let's say that.
Yeah. I mean,
and we got.
Hey, I have one more. I mean, technically, Toy Story because of John Lasseter. So.
Oh, that's right. Fuck, I forgot that. That's a shame. Tony Movie Chappie with a super chat. First of all, thank you so much, Anthony. Tony, not Anthony. I'm a dumbass. It's hard for me to get excited for the new Alien Romulus because I love both Prometheus and Alien Covenant and want to see the end of David's story. Hey, I love Alien Covenant as well. I'm excited for the new Alien Romulus. I don't think if we were ever going to see the end of David's story, this is not what gets in the way. The bad critical reception, the box office. Underwhelmingness of that movie, those are what stop it. This is not the movie that caused them not to make any more of those Alien movies. They had already given up on those. So we were not going to see those anyway. Unfortunately, I would have loved to cap off that trilogy. But if they are not going to continue that trilogy, why shouldn't we get new Alien stories? At least that's the way I see it. I am very, very excited for this film. And for all we know, they are connected. They are one.
He said every Alien film is connected. He's like, I'm not doing a non-canon thing. So I'll say this. I don't even want to get into my Alien ranking, but Covenant and Prometheus, I fucking love. I love so much. And a lot of that is David's story. And I love mythology. And they did such a good job building up that stuff. I would not be shocked if Alien Romulus fucking knocks it out of the park. That maybe we do get that cap off. Because technically, all you need is Fassbender back. Genuinely. Like, you can just say the other two died. Like, that's it. That's basically what they did with, what is it? Elizabeth Shaw? Was that the character's name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we both remember, because you just shouted it out, and instantly in my head, I was like, oh, yeah, that is her name.
Yeah. Same. I picked that out of my ass, man. Like, I remember David in that. But that's my thing, is that who knows? Weirder things have happened. We live in the world where Jamie Foxx came back as Electra. So
we live in a world where I flew across the world to be present at a wedding of a guy I known online exclusively for 7 years. Anything is possible, man.
I could have murdered him.
And stay with him.
I mean,
exactly.
You never know.
Yeah.
So
could have been a weird cult thing that I didn't know. I could have been a sacrifice.
Yeah.
For a dragon, like in Damsel with Millie Bobby Brown. Except I watch movies.
So yeah. Oh God. But yeah, it's very interesting.
I was so happy you immediately knew what I was talking about.
No. I understood. Yeah. So don't count it out, because what if Alien Romulus like blows up the box office and Disney's like, shit.
Yeah.
Let's do two films. Let's do a sequel to Alien Romulus, and let's do let's go back. Let's touch on that. Or who says?
And let's do another Alien versus Predator.
Yeah, which they're totally fucking trying to do.
They have to.
Which, if you tell me Dan Trachtenberg or Fede Alvarez is doing that,
get Drew Goddard on it. If he's not busy with Spider-Man.
Yeah, that would be fucking awesome. But yeah, who says David doesn't show up in a sequel?
Yeah.
Fassbender looks incredible. Looks the same. So I don't count it out. I wouldn't. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but go support Alien Romulus. Let's see what happens. Let's see.
For sure. So. All right. Next up, Geek. Go for it.
Yeah. G. Colby, in the recent article about Kristen Stewart saying she won't do a superhero film unless someone like Greta Gerwig was behind one of them, what comic book property, Marvel or DC, do you think Greta Gerwig would be perfect for?
I'm sorry to perhaps state the obvious, but Greta Gerwig would absolutely crush a Birds of Prey movie. A proper Birds of Prey movie.
I was going to say that or Supergirl, personally.
Supergirl. Well, does Supergirl have a director? It has a writer.
It's rumored to be Kate Herron.
Exactly.
It's
Kate
rumored to be. Right now. So
before those rumors came, I think even before we got
I was saying Greta,
the Millie Alcock casting, I was saying Greta Gerwig is like a possibility. So yeah.
Now that Kristen said this, let me tell you right now, 10 years from now, Greta Gerwig will be directing or announced to direct a superhero film. This article will come back up. I would not be shocked if Kristen showed up to it.
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't. Sure. I wouldn't. Even if it's a small role, just because of this article. So, or maybe Kristen Stewart plays the witch in the new Narnia films. Like
that
Tilda
would be
Swinton.
fucking cool.
Yeah, I'm
That
actually
would
kind of
be
for it,
fucking
depending on which
cool,
one she's
man.
adapting. So,
Yeah, I like
'cause
that.
they got Tilda
I
fucking
really
Swinton, man. They got Tilda fucking Swinton.
honestly, depending on how good Narnia comes out, if I love those Narnia movies, I might even suggest to Greta Gerwig for an X-Men film, but we'll see. And we have another super chat
Ooh,
from
real
our good.
fast. I
Go
think
for it.
Greta Gerwig would do a really good job on Teen Titans.
Yeah, but I don't care about the.
I
Teen
know
Titans,
you don't care
so.
for the Teen Titans, but
I will say this. I need to like the Teen Titans because I don't like the Teen Titans, suggesting Greta for that,
guys,
I feel like I'm lowering
you're the
her
one
standards.
fucking person that I know that does not like the Teen Titans.
It's the same reason I don't care for Young Avengers. Like, just call them fucking
See,
Avengers. Just
I
put
don't
them
like
in the
the
Justice League.
I don't like the Young Avengers. I love the Teen Titans. I love the Teen Titans. Pick the next super chat.
Next super chat from our good friend Eric Thorpe. Today is the 85th anniversary of the Batman. God, that dude is fucking old. What does the Dark Knight mean to you? Obviously, I think he is the greatest fictional character of all time. I don't think he is the greatest fictional character of all time overall. I think he's Mount Rushmore of comic book characters ever. He is my
Who is your
favorite
Mount
comic
Rushmore
book.
for comic book. Just straight from the comics. Hulk,
Straight
Batman,
from the comics.
Hulk, Batman, right?
Hulk, Batman. Actually, I would put Hulk in my favorites. I don't think I can put him in a Mount Rushmore.
Wow.
Mount
Okay.
Rushmore. Yeah, because Mount Rushmore has to be like iconic, how it reverberated throughout the industry. So it has, as boring as it can be, it's got to be Batman, Superman. Superman just has to be there in the Mount Rushmore. Spider-Man. And Captain America.
Can I be weird about this?
Absolutely.
I would do the same lineup, but instead of Captain America, I would do Moon Knight. I think Moon Knight, specifically that one run. What's the run?
Oh,
yes. Yeah. You know,
Sienkiewicz, the Sienkiewicz run.
Yes. That run like blew my mind away. And don't get me wrong, like we're fucking missing out on like Cyclops. We're missing out on like Wolverine and like all
Charles Xavier, Magneto,
Charles Xavier.
Thanos.
But when it comes down to just central characters getting memorable comics, that comic, ever since I've read it, has been in the back of my head. Superman has a ton of iconic comics. Fucking Spider-Man has a ton of iconic comics. Batman, I mean, 99% of my collection is fucking Batman and Spider-Man because they have the best comic books. They have the best rogues gallery. It's the easiest way to write it. But what does the Dark Knight mean to you, man?
I love the Dark Knight. Like in so many ways, if Batman like in the comics didn't exist, I wouldn't have not have grown up with the animated series, with a little bit of Batman Beyond. I wouldn't have fallen in love with Batman as a character and gone opening day to Batman Begins and get off of that movie going, I want to be a director. This is what I want to do. I wouldn't have fallen in love with Christopher Nolan. Dove deeper into cinema and all that. So the Batman is a very iconic character that is present in all the threads of my life, no matter how you look at it. Depending on how far you trace it back, Batman is somehow involved. It's probably why a lot of my favorite characters in fiction, usually speaking, not 100% of the time, but usually speaking, are those darker characters that overcome their pain. They use their pain to try and make the world a better place. What about you?
It's big because I grew up, literally it was side by side, Batman, Spider-Man. All the time was my childhood. Animation, comics, games too. I mean, both of them, even if the games weren't great. So both of them were big pieces to me, but Batman is like the more like, I feel a little edgy reading this, or watching this at times. It's a little bit darker, but for me, it was the Batman animated series and Batman Beyond. Batman Beyond was like everything to me. At one point, it was the one comic, the one cartoon show I'd always trying to figure out what time was it going to play, what channel would it be on. And the Dark Knight means a lot to me because there's so many different iterations of him. And no matter who you talk to, there's a chance that you're going to get something a little bit different from that person on what their favorite iteration is. My 2 favorite iterations is either Batman, like year 1, year 2, love the young, trying to figure it out. That's why I love Pattinson so much. And the other reason I love Ben Affleck so much is I love the grizzled, I fucking hate the world type of Batman. I love the The Dark Knight Returns, right? That's what the comic's called, just to make sure. It's my favorite Batman comic. I love that one. Every time I've gone back to watch that, or read that, it's my favorite. And if you watch the animated version, it's great. But I just love what you can do with the character. And I think Batman is a very interesting character because you can make him so grounded and at the same time so mythological. He's a myth to some villains. He's in the shadows. No one really believes if he's real or not. I got done reading No Man's Land last year. Very interesting comic. And I think
probably
that's
what
really
the Batman 2 is about.
Exactly. And I like that because it's kind of apocalyptic. Like it has apocalyptic feeling to it. What's the one before that? I have it on my shelf. What's it
called? Is it 0 Hour or 0 Day? It's something like that.
0 Year.
I just need to go
and I love
beyond.
0 Year for what it set up. I loved that comic. So and it's very different than a lot of others. It's a very early Batman in his career with a kind of an apocalyptic feeling of the Riddler taking all over Gotham. So it means a lot.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Thank you so much, Eric, for the support and for a great question. Never a bad day to talk about.
And I will say, guys, we are starting to get down. There are still a lot of questions. So if you do have one of the questions posted and you want it guaranteed answered, definitely throw in a super chat to support the podcast.
Absolutely. Lady Aaron, with mixed reception of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, do you think it might be a huge risk to make another Ghostbusters movie at this point? So the risk of making another Ghostbusters movie will not be related to how good or bad the reception is. It will be related to how big or low the box office is.
Yep.
Box office wise, as far as I'm aware so far, it's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
So if it continues on that track, it does do real. I had a guy the other day when I was going into Godzilla vs. Kong. 2 guys, actually. One of them was saying it's hitting $1 billion, and I thought, you're crazy. And I had another one who said it's not even hitting 200 million. I said, you're perhaps crazier. It's not going to hit. It's going to go far beyond 200. Far beyond 200 million? Comfortably beyond 200 million. It's not going to reach $1 billion. It's not going to reach $1 billion at all. But the way it's tracking, I would say it stops at like 500, maybe 600 million. And if it stops there or between those two goalposts, not a risk at all. You do another Ghostbusters movie. Hell, you might do. You might immediately greenlit 2. Yeah, for sure. At least get.
I think they spin it off. I'll tell you right now. I think they spin it off.
Could be for sure. All right, what's next?
Up next, thoughts on Christopher Nolan receiving a knighthood in England very soon, becoming known as Sir Christopher Nolan. Undeserving.
I concur. What?
Undeserving.
Why?
I don't know.
He will literally become the Dark Knight, Zach.
Because I just want to be weird. That's why. I just want to.
Fair enough.
I just don't want to agree with anyone.
Fair enough. Lady Aaron, thoughts on Ryan Gosling launching his own production company? Which filmmakers do you want? Which filmmakers do you want his company to collaborate with at some point? I don't have a lot of thoughts. Creating a production company is great. It's another source of income. So my boy Ryan Gosling is doing great. What filmmakers do I want him to work with? Pick any filmmaker that you know I like. Put him working with Ryan. Hey, pick me. Pick me. I'm a film. I can work with you, Ryan Gosling. Pick me. Produce my script. There you go. That's the one filmmaker I want working with Ryan Gosling. What about you?
Definitely. Sorry, something started playing in my ear on a different window, and I got scared.
Sorry.
Instantly, first one that came to my mind is I always get it. Is it Gareth Evans? Is that his name? The guy who made The Raid?
Yes,
him.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
I would love to see Gosling do a film with him, even though we're still waiting on Havoc.
The stuff I know
Do you
about
know
that
stuff
movie.
about that movie? Do you know
I
stuff
know
about that
stuff
movie?
about that movie. I know stuff about that movie.
Okay, can you tell me
Um,
afterwards so I can just know if
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah, yeah. No worry. Lady Aaron, thoughts on the filming of Euphoria season 3 being delayed indefinitely? That is code, my dear friend, for canceled. With all the information we've gotten from reliable sources, I don't think that show is happening. Is continuing, which is a shame. Which is a shame because I like Euphoria. What do you think?
I think we get a special, like how they did the special in between the two seasons to tie up characters, especially just Rue.
I think they film a special, but then it gets written off for a tax write-off.
Or that. Because when the news came out that it got delayed, I was like, okay. And then more news came out for it. And when I read that entire article reading that, it seems like they had ideas, but these ideas didn't really work because, I mean,
The
a
two
lot of them were
ideas that came
dumb.
out for Rue were wild.
Yeah. Now, I will tell you, the original script idea before all that, Angus Cloud was a major part of it all.
Mm-hmm.
He's gone. Sadly, very sucks because he was one of like the best characters in that entire show. So I don't know what they do. I genuinely do not know what they do with it. And the second season was not great. It wasn't. It was it was entertaining. It was entertaining trash. Like I can admit that, but I definitely just want something different now. And I'm a little over it. So I'd rather Zendaya and all them go and work and do other things now. So
Lydia Aaron, thoughts on the first look we got for Yorgos Lanthimos' next film, Kinds of Kindness, if you've seen it. Zach, you know how much I love The Favorite, right?
yes.
You know how much I love Poor Things, right?
Yes.
I did not care for this teaser. I thought it sold me on style, on the cast, but I need a little bit more to get properly excited. I'm interested because I love those two movies. But this
Can I
teaser
say
didn't do
something
much
too?
for me. Go for it. Go for it. Absolutely.
Same. I usually love Yorgos Lanthimos movies. I'm not sold on this film.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about this before. It's an anthology film, which I am not a fan of.
It almost looks Paul Thomas Anderson-y from the trailer.
Yeah, that is true.
All right.
I don't know. I don't know.
Go
Doesn't
for it.
sell for me.
Yeah. Doesn't do much.
Next one up we have is
Mhm.
thoughts on the first trailer for Bad Boys 4 if you've seen it. Do you watch it?
I watched it. I thought it
And?
was fine. And the last one is my favorite. I think the last one is the
Same.
best Bad Boys film. This trailer is more of the same. I don't think it looks bad, but it does feel like there's a whole fucking lot going on in this one movie.
Yeah. I don't know. It looks fine. I love the last
You
one.
weren't into it either. Yeah.
Nah, I don't care. Man.
Andrew C. Ren, what are your thoughts on the teasers for Beetlejuice, and the Acolyte? The Acolyte trailer is exactly the same trailer I saw about a year ago, a little less than a year ago at Star Wars Celebration. It's glorious. I fucking love that trailer, and I've been hyping it up for Zach for almost a year, so I'm glad he gets to see it. I'm glad you all get to see it. It's fantastic. Beetlejuice. I cannot be more indifferent. I watched the original Beetlejuice once. I thought it was fine. I am not the biggest Tim Burton fan, and even if I was, he has not made a good movie in 25 years, 24 years? Because Big Fish is celebrating 20 years this year, and that's his greatest movie ever made. Other than that, I'm sorry. It's one of those films I really hope I come out of it being proven wrong. And I'm like, holy shit, that was fucking amazing. Right now, I really don't care for it. Did you like this trailer? The one for Beetlejuice?
Well, the Acolyte, I thought was disappointing. I wasn't blown away by that trailer, man. I was so excited and I watched it and I have a reaction. I was just like, okay, cool. Cool. Like it's just another trailer for me. Like I had no big thoughts on it, like whatsoever. Beetlejuice, it's a tease. And I did a reaction for that too, and I was just like, cool. Like I get it's just a teaser, but show like a little fucking more. A
Show
little
me the
fucking
money.
more. Show you're saying there's all this weird show a glimpse of that. Like oh my god. Like cuz now all this is doing is like those stupid fake Facebook posters. Now it's just like it's real. It's real now, you know.
That's true.
Ghostbusters is, or fucking Beetlejuice is real. So, I hope it's good. I hope it's good. That's just me though. So, we'll
All right.
see.
Andrew Seif also asks our thoughts on the teaser trailer we got for Alien Romulus. We already talked about a little bit like the movie.
I actually didn't watch it.
Oh, you
So
didn't?
I don't
It's
know.
very good. It's literally as teaser as a teaser can be. It literally doesn't show you anything. I think you should watch it. I know there's a shot in there. They're gonna you
It's
will flip
the
out.
ones of them all running, right?
It's what with them, but it's what they're running from.
Yeah, I saw that one. I saw that
Okay,
piece. I saw that all
yeah.
over
I
Twitter.
I thought it was a really, 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 really fucking good teaser.
Okay.
um, Andrew Seif also asks, "What are your thoughts on the latest trailers that came out for House of Dragon season 2?" I haven't watched any of them either. It's not one of those that are like, "No, I'm not watching. I don't need them." It's not that. I definitely want to watch them. At least the Team Black one. I just haven't had time, and I've forgotten. In regards to your second question, Team Black or Team Green, I answered it just now. I am Team Black all the way. I think watching this show, season 1, and knowing Game of Thrones and your Team Green, you're not paying attention. It's like watching Civil War and still be Team Iron Man by the end of it, even when Iron Man is like, "Huh, I was kind of wrong here."
Mhm.
So yeah, Team Black, all the fucking way. Zach,
I didn't watch. I'm not going to.
and
Team
you.
Black. Yeah. So
Alrighty. Andrew Seif, what are your thoughts on Scarlett Johansson being in talks to star in the next Jurassic World movie? Here's the thing. I love Scarlett Johansson. I think she really fits into this kind of blockbuster kind of movie. But I don't get excited for this kind of movie depending on who is starring in it. I don't get excited in it for the actors chosen for the human roles. I get excited knowing the franchise, knowing how this franchise started with the original Jurassic Park, one of the greatest movies of all time. I get excited with the ideas they'll explore. So, who is this character she's playing? What is her role like in the film? How does it continue from the last time we were in one of these films? What about you?
I'm since Gareth's been on board, I've been a little bit more optimistic on this entire film.
Yeah.
I've heard ideas of it, but I don't know if what's true and what's not. Scarlett Johansson's one of my favorite actresses, so I'll watch it. I'm gonna watch it no matter what, but
Yeah.
I'll watch it. Andrew C. Pass next. What's your thoughts on the next Pirates of the Caribbean movie being rebooted? I think people forget that reboot doesn't mean that it's a remake. It takes place in the same world. They're just going forward with new characters and things like that. Get back Gore Verbinski. Let's have him make it. I don't know. There's nothing much more for me to judge it on because I don't even know what it's about.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of thoughts, number one, because I've never been this franchise is not one of those I grew up with, but also it being a reboot is something we already knew. So I just don't have a lot of thoughts on that. Because
Exactly.
we know this. All right, we're in the last few minutes. So let's try to get to as many as we can. Andrew Seif, what are your thoughts on Joker 2 being a jukebox musical? I am not excited for this film. I've never been excited for this film at any point. This certainly does not help, particularly because I've seen some of the songs they announced, like a couple of songs that are going to be in it, and I don't know any of them, so I don't care, really, unfortunately. Zach?
I really, really hope Poker Face is in this, like the song Poker Face. But I don't want Lady Gaga singing it. I want Joaquin Phoenix singing
Joaquin
it.
Phoenix.
So
Okay.
yeah.
And it's gonna be called Joker Face.
Yeah. $200 million. A trailer's coming out next week, right? Is that the
I
rumor
think
right
so.
now?
I think so.
Mm.
I'll ask my Warner Brothers guy.
Okay.
Um,
Andrew Seif, what are your thoughts on Margot Robbie producing a Sims movie? Let me see the idea.
Strange, if intriguing decision. Those are my thoughts. Dominic Scott, thoughts on Justin Lin directing Tom Holland Spider-Man 4. It's not a sure thing, but we've already talked about it. And I recently heard that he will direct a One Punch Man movie for Sony Pictures. Is that a good idea or not? It's not a good idea because One Punch Man sucks. All right. Do you have any thoughts on the One Punch Man movie, Zach?
I've never been a huge fan of One Punch Man. I like I've watched the fights. The animation's good. It's just never been my cup of tea.
Yeah, the animation.
Justin Lin would do a good job directing the fight scenes.
Probably.
But I will say this, though. If you are going to do One Punch Man live action, a movie is probably the better route for that one. Like, honestly, that one wouldn't work as a show, in my opinion. So,
did you hear that a Ready or Not sequel is officially in the works with Samara Weaving set to come back? I did not hear that. No.
Oh, you didn't? Yes,
No?
you didn't hear about this? Yeah, apparently
no,
they
no.
already have a director and everything. Just no one knows what
Okay.
the idea is. I hope she's
Who
getting
is
married
it?
to another. I don't remember.
Okay. It's not one of those ideas that screams sequel. So I don't know. Unless she's a wedding crasher this time and she goes into a wedding where she knows the girl, the bride, is about to be like slaughtered.
Yeah, that. Or does she inherit?
Hire me. Let me direct
inherit
it.
everything. Does she inherit everything?
And she becomes the bad guy?
Maybe.
And she like allures rich family, or she marries rich families on purpose, knowing what she has to do.
Ooh, I like that one. And she has to fucking kill them.
Call me. I'm available to direct the shit out of this movie or write the shit out of it. All right, last 3 questions. Andrew Seif, what are your thoughts on Timothée Chalamet's new deal with Warner Brothers? I have a 3-pronged answer for this one. On Timothée Chalamet's side, amazing. Kid is doing all right for himself, I guess. He's one of the biggest movie stars in the world. Endless talent. This is nothing but good news for him. Warner Brothers, you completely understand why they want this. I hope they don't get any of his movies and ditch them for tax write-offs. What was the third one? I don't remember what the third one was. But yeah, I think the thoughts on themselves, I need to see what the movies, the projects are to get
Wonka
analytical
2,
about
Dune
any
3.
of them. Well, we know those are coming.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on this massive deal?
No, because I think these dealers are fucking stupid. Except for the actors, they get money. So that's just me.
True. Tobes, if you guys feel comfortable sharing, what do you guys do for work? I currently work as an actor, going from role to role whenever they select me for roles, and I consistently work at a pub.
Nice. I'm a prostitute.
It's true. I saw it. I was there during his work hours.
I don't really want to get into mine, but I help people do things on computers.
Like right now, he's helping me do this show on a computer.
Yeah, but this is more fun.
Tobes, hey Ren, what is your gym schedule / workouts like right now? Workouts from Monday to Saturday, rest on Sundays. Most of the time is like traditional bodybuilding, weightlifting. And on Wednesdays and Saturdays or Tuesdays and Fridays, I try to do some CrossFit because I don't do enough cardio and I need to get more cardio in because cardio sucks. So I don't enjoy it, but it's a necessity for sure. Zach?
Nothing. I'm fat.
And then I eat a lot. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're good. I'm fat. I told myself though, I think I figured out how to work with my schedule to go back to the gym. So if I'm not lazy next week, which is a big if, because I have a lot of screenings next week, I'm gonna go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And
And I have an app
Tuesday,
if
Wednesday,
you want.
Thursday.
It only costs $5 a month, and you get workouts every day. So yeah. And yeah, Zach can testify that I eat a fucking lot.
Yeah, he does. I kept asking him, I'm like, are you hungry? Are you hungry?
I'm always, I could eat. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. That was Ren's response every single time I asked him, are you hungry? And he would be like, yeah, I can eat right now. Okay.
Just always open, this guy, this mouth of mine. All right, everyone. Apologies to any question we didn't get to. I need to really get off because I have work in about 90 minutes and I need to get a meal before that because right now I could eat. I'm not hungry, but I could eat. Remember, when you're hungry, it's your body telling you you should have already eaten. So thank you so much. Thank you to Eric Thorpe. Thank you to Tony Movie Chappie. Thank you for all the questions. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Let us know if you did on the live chat. Go to the comment section on the replay of this video. Let us know if you want more episodes like this. And we're happy to answer any of the questions we missed next week. There will be a show next week. I'm off next weekend for WrestleMania, baby. So, all right. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Zach, for being here with me once again. And until next time, everyone, love each other and love the movies. Bye-bye. See you later.